Hey everyone, so welcome to Linux as Simple as Possible. We're going to do a reference guide today over the grep command. So what I'm going to do in this reference guide is I'm going to explain the grep command to you. I'm going to give you a reference spreadsheet that I created and I use at my work. I'm going to link it in the description so you can download it and use it at work yourself. And then I'm going to, in this video, walk you through every single command switch that I have in that spreadsheet so you have a solid understanding of how to use it. The goal of this video is to make you a grep command expert in Linux and to make you the go-to person at work for when people have questions on how to use the grep command. They'll go to you and you'll look like the smart person. So let us jump in and get started. Okay, Linux command grep. If you don't know what it stands for Global Regular Expression Print. And the reason it's called that is because it utilizes regular expressions or can utilize regular expressions, and it prints the output to the screen for you. So what does grep actually do? Well, the whole purpose of grep is to search files for patterns that you specify. Before people start getting, caught up into, in, out, different outflows, how grep works under the hood, just know, as simple as possible, grep just looks for patterns in files. That's the intent of grep. Yes, you can do other fancy things with it, but the intent is simply to look for patterns in files. And if you don't know what regular expressions are, don't worry. Regular expressions are just ways of looking for patterns. So let's jump in with the first one. Grep, organ, states. Let me show you what... let me drag this up here. Let me show you what we're working with here. So we have this file called states. Now, if we open up the file, you'll see it's just a file containing a bunch of state names. That's all it is. There's other funny things, patterns in here that we'll go over later in the video, but it's just a file full of state names. So that's what we're working with in the states file. Now, if we go back to the spreadsheet, we're going to grep the pattern organ states in the states file. So it searches the states file for the pattern organ and returns matches. Let's do that now. Grep organ in the states file, and it returns a match, organ. Simple enough, right? That's what grep does. That's the very basics of grep. So let's see what is next. Grep-c mi states searches the states file for the pattern mi, capital M, lowercase I, returns the number of lines with a matching pattern. -c stands for count. So count the number of lines that contain the pattern. That's what the -c stands for. Let us go back to that. Now, let's jump into the states file again. Now we're looking for the pattern mi. So we can see here, Michigan has mi, Minnesota has mi, Mississippi has mi, Missouri has mi, right? How many lines is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we count the number of lines, we get 4 matches for the mi pattern. So if we go grep-c for count, M, capital Mi, in quotations, in the states file, here it goes, 4. There's 4 lines that contain the pattern Mi. Okay, we got a lot to go through, so let's find out what is next. So grep-e, Ohio, E, California, E, Washington, in the states file, searches for the patterns Ohio, California, and Washington in the states file. So -e Couldn't find in the Linux man page exactly what E stands for. But basically, if you want to find multiple patterns with one command, you can use the -E switch, and you can search for multiple commands, or excuse me, multiple patterns in one command. That saves you from typing out 3 different commands to look for 3 different patterns. You can just type it all into one command. So the -E, I suppose you could think of that as E for etc. or extended, probably etc. Anything that helps you remember it. So let me show you this in the wild. grep -E. Let's find the pattern OH, capital OHIO, -E. The pattern California, -E. The pattern Washington. States within the states file. Here it goes. California, Ohio, Washington. So as long as we place that -E before each pattern we're searching for, we can search for multiple patterns utilizing only one command. Okay, what do we have next? grep-f, file with pattern states, feeds the grep command a pattern contained within the file with pattern file. grep then searches the states file for the pattern it was fed. So -f, you can think of that as standing for f in file. So why would you use this? Well, it's useful if you have a long or complex search pattern that you don't want to type over and over and over again. You can just type it once into a file and then feed grep that file name here, in this case file with pattern, and tell it to look in the states file. So let me show you this in the wild. grep-f for file. File with pattern. Search in the states file. Washington. Boom. Why does it return Washington? Well, if we open up the file with pattern file, we'll see that it contains the word Washington. So we are feeding the pattern Washington into the grep command and looking in the states file for the pattern Washington. Easy enough, right? Yeah, it's a lot easier when it's explained to you on a video by somebody who knows what they're talking about, because sometimes trying to understand people who are writing out how these commands work is sometimes quite the challenge. IT people aren't necessarily the best at communication or making things simple, which is kind of why I put this channel together, is to try to make things as simple as possible for some of these concepts. Okay, enough of that. grep-I Kansas states searches for the pattern Kansas without regard to uppercase or lowercase and returns matching lines in the states file. So -I stands for ignore case. It's the I in ignore. So let's see what that looks like in the wild. grep-I. That's not an I. Kansas in the states file. Arkansas, Kansas, 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 right? It's ignoring the case. What if we take the -I switch out of there? It'll only return Kansas here. Oh. And Kansas here. Right? But we put in that -I, and it'll return Kansas with a capital K, because it's ignoring uppercase and lowercase. Okay, let's move on. grep-L, Kansas, star, searches for the pattern Kansas through multiple files, returns the file names that contain matching patterns. L, you can think of it as standing for list. The man page says files with matches. So, like I said before, you can probably think of the L as standing for list of file names. And then, of course, the star stands for search all file names in the directory. So let me show you that in the wild. grep-L, Kansas. Let's do lowercase. Kansas, star. Okay, you can ignore this because grep is just complaining that it thinks I'm trying to force it to look in a different directory. But you can see here that the states file contains the word Kansas, and the states2 file contains the word Kansas. So let's open up the states2 file, and I'll show you that contains the word Kansas as well. So here it is. Kansas. Okay, let's move on to the next one. grep-n new searches for the states file, searches in the states file for the pattern new and prints the line number with the output. What does the line number mean? -n, you can think of that as standing for the letter N in line number. Let's show you this. grep-n new in the states file. New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, new, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. What does that mean? VI, states. We'll open up the states file and look. So that means new is 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, because if we go to the top, work with me here, Linux. This is under the hood, even though it doesn't display it. Alabama programmatically is on line 1 of this file. Alaska is on line 2. Alaska QWERTY is on line 3. Arizona is on line 4, and so on and so on and so on. So the TAC-N is just telling you the line number where it found the pattern within the file. And that can help you if you're looking through a huge file and you want to see the exact line number where the pattern is located. So let's move on to the next. grep-o, Kansas states, searches for the pattern Kansas in the states file, but instead of returning the entire line where a match is found, -o only returns the match. So it's not going to return the whole line. It'll only return the match. So if we let's do this in the wild. grep-o Kansas states. Kansas, Kansas, Kansas. Now what in the world is it talking about? Well, let's see. Let's take away -o. Our Kansas, 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 Kansas. So it found it Kansas with a lowercase k 3 times, right? So if you're doing -o, O you can think of it as standing for only matching, only the exact match. If you're doing -o, it is just going to return the exact match. It's not going to return the line for you. So let's do this. Let's do grep-o. See if we can do the line number too. We can. Awesome. So remember, we just went over grep-n gives us the line number. -o gives us the match only. The match only. So we can see here line 5 of the states file has the word Kansas. In line 18 has the word Kansas twice. It's right here as well. Kansas, Kansas. It has the pattern Kansas twice. Okay, what's next? grep-r washing. Okay, so let's do this. Searches all of the files in the current directory as well as the files in each subdirectory for files containing the pattern washing. -r reads all files under each directory recursively. So you can think of the -r as standing for recursive. It's a recursive search. So we'll go, that's not what I'm looking for. We'll go grep-r washing All right, so states2 file contains the pattern washing. The states file contains the pattern washing. The file with pattern file contains the pattern washing. Now underneath opt temp is another subdirectory called opt, and it too has a file called states2 that contains the pattern washing. So grep-r is for recursive search for the pattern that you specify, in this case washing. Okay, so let's see what's next. grep-v Florida searches the states file for the pattern Florida and returns non-matches. So you can think of the -v as maybe the v in invert for inverted matching. So instead of looking for that pattern and returning that pattern, it looks for that pattern and returns everything but that pattern. So grep-v Florida in the states file. Now look, and it returns all that. How about if we do no -v? Well, it only returns the pattern Florida then, but if we do -v, it returns everything but the pattern Florida. Okay, let's go next. grep-w Alaska searches the states file for the pattern Alaska and returns matches that contain only the word Alaska if it occurs in isolation. So W means select only those lines containing matches that form whole words. So Alaska, the word Alaska by itself. So let's see what that looks like in the wild. So if we go grep, I'm going to type this out again. grep-w Alaska with one A in the states file. W, Alaska. Well, yeah, we searched for the pattern Alaska and it returned Alaska. Wasn't that just like regular grep? Well, let's take away the W and we'll see what happens. Uh-oh. Yeah, if we search without the W switch, it'll return Alaska QWERTY as well because it has QWERTY at the end. But if we want that, if we want the word Alaska by itself, got to use that W switch because it'll return Alaska in isolation. Okay, next. grep-a2 California in the states file searches for the pattern California in the states file and returns the line matching that pattern and the two lines after the line with a match. So you can think of the -A as standing for the word after. So let's see what that looks like. grep-A2 California states. Colorado. No, California, Colorado, Connecticut, right? Because if we open the states file, California is followed by Colorado, is followed by Connecticut, is followed by Delaware. Right? So give me the pattern California and the two lines after the pattern California, which is Colorado and Connecticut. Okay, how about the opposite? grep-b2 California states searches for the pattern California in the states file and returns a line matching that pattern and the two lines before the line with a match. So -b stands for before. Let's go. B2 California in the states file. Arizona, Arkansas, California. These are the two lines before the word, the pattern California in the states file. Pretty awesome, huh? It's pretty useful when you're wanting to find a pattern within a file, but you also want to see what is exactly around that pattern. Sometimes I've used this when I've grepped a TCP dump to, look at the different network traffic that's flying around. on my network or hitting a specific port on the machine that I'm on. You know, there's lots of use cases for this. So let's jump into the next one. grep C2, here we are. grep C2 California searches for the pattern California in the states file and returns the line matching that pattern and the 2 lines before and after the line with a match. So -C, contiguous. I couldn't find anything in the Linux man page that really explained what the C stood for. So let's just say contiguous. It, you know, things connected to the pattern. That's what I think of it as. So instead of having to choose between before and after, you can just put -C and it'll give you before and after both. So let's type it out again. grep-C to California in the states file. The pattern California in the states file. Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. So that returns the 2 lines before and after, but maybe we want to do 3 lines before and after, right? Maybe we want to do 5 lines before and after, right? Tons of options here. Here we are. Okay, grep-C to -- color. The cool thing about this is it takes the pattern you're looking for and it colors it. -- color colors the matching pattern. For you, the Linux nerds out there, the color choice is defined by the environment variable grep colors. So you can change the highlighting color. You'll see in a second what I'm referring to here. So let's go the grep-C contiguous again. Now let's put -- color in there. Look at that. It colors the pattern that we're looking for, so you can pick it out in a large block of text. So let's say you're looking for the 10 lines before and after the pattern California, right? Well, if you do the -- color, it makes the pattern, the actual pattern you're matching on, really stand out when you're looking in this huge block of text. So that's what the -- color is really useful for. Okay, what's next? grep $. We're getting into the regular expression stuff now. Searches for a line that ends in the pattern DA and returns matching lines in the states file. grep $. States searches for lines in the states file that end in the letters DA. Not lines that have the letters DA, but lines that end in the letters DA. And that's what this $sign is for. This is a regular expression indicator that, you know, we want you to find things at the end of the line. This pattern at the end of a line. So let's see what that looks like in the wild. grep DA $. It's kind of dark in my room. States Florida, Nevada, because it ends in DA. So what if we do this without the $? We get Idaho in there too, because there's the pattern DA in Idaho. But if we do the $, no Idaho, because the DA is not at the end of Idaho. Okay, let's move on to the next. egrep Norwa states searches for NOR, capital NOR, or capital WA within the states file. egrep stands for extended grep and allows for the usage of special regular expressions like the pipe symbol. This is called the pipe symbol, this little bar here, plus sign and the question mark. You can also use extended grep by typing grep-e. So this is kind of a shorthand way. Remember up here we did -E Ohio, -E California, -E Washington. This is kind of a shorthanded way to do it. You just have to use egrep instead of grep. So let's take a look at that in the wild. Egrep. NOR, pipe symbol, which actually stands for OR, states. So here it is, North Dakota. North Carolina, then North Dakota. North Dakota. WA in Washington. So we're looking for patterns with NOR or WA. So we're searching for both with this pipe symbol, and which stands for OR, and egrep, which stands for extended grep, which means, utilize these regular expression symbols for what they're intended. If you don't know regular expressions very well, don't worry about it. Maybe we can make another video on that. Regular expressions are just searching for patterns. That's all they are. They can get really complex really fast, but don't let somebody convince you that they're way smarter than you because they know regular expressions. They're not. They're just maybe more experienced with using regular expressions. And again, it's just pattern matching. That's all it is. It's not magic. I know some concepts in IT, when I first looked at them, I thought, man, I'll never understand that stuff. But, once I sat down and really studied it step by step, really simply, I figured it out, and it's actually pretty logical. So don't let anybody intimidate you and think that, if you have a coworker who knows a lot, don't let that intimidate you. They've probably just been in the industry longer, or maybe they put in more time than you, or maybe they don't have a social life like you do. There's lots of different reasons. But anyway, enough about that. So next, fgrep Wyoming state searches for the literal pattern Wyoming in the states file. Fgrep stands for fixed grep. It's fixed because it does not attempt to interpret any regular expression symbols like the pipe command, the OR command that I just showed you, or the caret, or the $sign. It simply searches for the literal pattern given to it. So let me show you this in the wild. Fgrep. Where's the caret symbol? Wyoming, I don't want a capital. Wyoming, and then $, quotation marks, states. Look at that. Wyoming. Okay, so what's the difference between grep and fast grep? Fgrep is literal, fixed grep. So if we just do regular grep, it'll return Wyoming. But if we do fgrep, it'll return literally this. Okay, so what is going on here in the states file? Let's go down to the bottom. We have Wyoming, and we have Wyoming followed by a $sign and starting with a caret. So what's happening under the hood here? Fgrep is looking for this literal string. So it's not interpreting the caret symbol at the beginning or the $sign at the end as anything to do with regular expressions. It's just looking for this exact pattern. Whereas regular grep will attempt to resolve these as regular expression symbols, meaning, it has meaning to it. Whereas fgrep, fixed grep, this is literally a $sign. It's literally looking for a $sign. That's the main difference there. Okay, grep, caret, M, states, searches for the pattern M in the states file, but only if M is at the start of the line. Remember, the DA was the $sign was looking for this DA pattern at the end of the line. This is the opposite. The caret stands for the letter M at the start of the line. So regex symbol for start of a line is what the caret is. So let's look at this. GREP. Quotes M states. Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Montana, Montanan. Okay, so what's happening here? What if we do just M by itself? Well, we get New Mexico too. Why? Because M is in there. But if we do the caret, which is a regular expression symbol, it doesn't give us New Mexico because the M is not at the beginning of the line, like here. So let me show you with the color switch. So this is what it's matching on. It's matching M here, M here, M here, M here, so on and so on and so on. It's not matching this M because this M is at the beginning of the line, or excuse me, not at the beginning of the line. So it ignores this M. The only reason that you see this M here is because it sees this M at the beginning of the line. So therefore, stop messing with me, Linux. So therefore, it prints the whole line for you. Okay? Okay, grep AN searches for the pattern AN in the states file, but only if AN is at the end of the line. So that's exactly what we did up here. So I'll show you anyway, just for posterity. Michigan, Montana, Montanan. So what is this matching on here? What's going on here? What if we do AN by itself? Well, we get all these. Well, let's see what it's matching. Let's put in the color switch there. Oh, it's matching on all these ANs. Pennsylvania, Rhode Island. But what if we do the $ by itself? I know some of you might already grasp this, and that's cool. You guys are smarter than the rest of us. But some of us, we need to see this stuff over and over again. So if we do the $ at the end, it's only matching on AN at the end of a line. So that's why we only get Michigan and Montana, Montanan. Right? So here we get Montana if we do it without the $. But here we only get Montana, Montanan. Right? Because it's at the end of the line. This is saying give me AN only if it's at the end of the line. Okay, enough about that. Next, tail-25 states, grep Virginia grabs, the tail command is very useful. We can talk about it another time, but basically what's happening is the tail command will grab the last, by default it'll grab the last 10 lines of a file, but you can tell it to grab any number of lines you want. In this case, we're doing 25. Grabs the last 25 lines of the states file, searches for the pattern Virginia, and returns any matches. Tail command by default returns the last 10 lines of a specified file. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we're doing tail. Well, first off, let's do this. VI states. Let's see what we have here for Virginia. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So West Virginia is the fourth line from the end. Virginia is the sixth line from the end. So if we go back and we say grep let's ignore the case. Virginia in the states file, we'll get Virginia and West Virginia. But if we do grep, if we do tail, and we say, only give me the last 4 lines, and we have to put the pipe symbol in between. Oh, whoa, That is freaking out. That did not like that. Oh, I set that up wrong. Tailed the last 4 lines of the states file. And grep, ignoring the case, for the pattern Virginia. West Virginia. Now what if we tailed the last 5 lines? West Virginia still. But what if we tailed the last 6 lines? That should give us the word Virginia, or the pattern Virginia by itself as well. Yep, there you go. Virginia, West Virginia. So again, look for the last 4 lines of the file. We get West Virginia by itself. Look for the last 6 lines, and you get Virginia and West Virginia. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, next. ls-r grep able. Recursively looks through all directories and subdirectories and returns all directory and file name matches for the pattern able. So this is one of the tricks you can do with grep. Grep is specifically designed to look for patterns within files. There's another Linux command called find. The find command is used to look for directories. So grep is looking for patterns in files. The Linux find command is looking for directories. So we'll get into the find command in another video. But for the time being, we can use ls-r to recursively look through directories and subdirectories, otherwise known as folders and subfolders, to grep for the pattern able. So let's do this in the wild. ls-r pipe command grep able. Okay, what did I do here? Let's do CD. Was it here that I was doing? Yep. See, it's bringing us all the file names and subdirectories with the able, with the pattern able. So if we do the color switch again, it'll show you exactly what it's matching on. See? This is a way to use grep to not look for patterns within a file, but to look using, in combination with the ls command, to look for directories and file names with that particular pattern. In this case, ABLE. We can scroll further up and you can see where it's matching. So if you're not quite sure why you're getting in grep, why you're getting a specific match, just use the color switch and it'll highlight it for you. Okay? So that wraps up this video. I know it was a little bit of a long one, and I apologize for that, but I had a lot that I wanted to show you guys to make you guys an expert. Again, I'm going to take this spreadsheet. I'm going to make it available to you guys for download. SHA-256 hash, if you're into that sort of thing, will be in the file name, so you can verify that, you know, the file is legit. And, you know, go be an expert. Use grep. Impress your friends. Well, really quick, I want to say something about imposter syndrome. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's very common in the IT industry. The imposter syndrome basically is somebody who, you know, obtained a job in the IT industry, maybe, or any industry for that matter, and they don't feel like they're qualified for it. They feel like they're an imposter. And let me tell you, it is rampant in the IT industry. You're not alone if you ever feel that way. That feeling is rampant in the IT industry because there is so much to learn constantly within our industry. If you got a job somewhere when you're looking at another coworker that's been there longer than you, and you're like, man, I'm not as good as that guy or girl. I'll never know what they know. stop. That's all nonsense. You are as smart as them. Maybe you just haven't been there as long. So if you're feeling imposter syndrome, just remember that guy or girl that you're looking up to, they're just an imposter just like you. Okay, they're just an imposter that has been there longer. That's it. IT is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Don't try to go fast and outdo everybody. Just step by step. Just take it one day at a time. You'll get there. You'll be looked up to as the expert before you know it. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.